All right.
All
Welcome to
right.
today's podcast. Today we are covering Demon Slayer Season 1.
Kimetsu no Yaiba.
Oh, yeah. I'm
Yes,
excited
we
for
are
this one.
covering one of my favorite new anime, or newer serialized or visualized anime. One of the top three manga in Japan. One of the greatest anime animation wise that I've watched in a while. And we have good old Vanilla here trying to figure out how much he loves the show, and I think he thoroughly enjoyed it from what we've talked about thus far.
Yes, this is actually my favorite anime so far out of everything I watched. So, since it's
Good,
kind
good,
of one of the first few I watched,
yeah,
and
good. That's good to
it's good
hear.
anyways. So,
So, what were some of the biggest things that stood out to you when you first started watching the show?
well, shit, the biggest thing that stood out to me, I messaged our buddy, like when Tanjiro's whole family
Yeah,
got just murked
straight
in the
wipe from the
first
fucking map.
episode. I was
Yeah,
like, "Oh shit, this is real." I was not expecting because I didn't really have any expectations going into the show. I was just told that it was good and to watch it.
yeah.
And then episode like 1, it's like, "Bleh, they're dead." Like, well, damn. Okay, so this is how this is gonna be. But yeah,
Yeah,
that
it,
was my
it gets
biggest.
it gets real really fast, and that's one thing that
Yes.
threw me for a loop because it started out all like happy go lucky, and I should have known better. I should have definitely known better that,
Yeah.
that they started out way too happy, like, oh hey, Tanjiro's gonna go sell charcoal in the city like he always does, and I'm like, okay, cool,
Yeah.
yeah, cool, that is really good animation. All right, and then yeah, and he's like, hey, just don't go out at night. Oh, well, why is that? I wonder. And then he walks up to his house and sees that everything's covered in blood and there's dead
Yes.
children. That's wonderful. So there's
Yeah.
that.
The second thing that stood out to me the most was the actual like animation, like some of those nature scenes that
Oh
they have in
yeah,
the show. I was like,
gorgeous.
that is that's some damn good art right
Yeah,
there.
yeah. It's
Like that's
very,
not your traditional
very.
cartoon.
Yeah, it's an interesting animation style, especially as far as the character designs are concerned. They're
Yeah.
very, old school, traditional, like swordsman garb and outfits
Yes.
and gi and things of that nature. Yes, but at the same time, just the way that the aesthetic is in the show is really nice, and it
Yeah.
adds some of that, I guess, turn of the century, more modern clothing in there with like the school uniforms and stuff like that. So yeah, it's an interesting looking show overall. The color palettes are really nice too. The colors just pop whenever they
Yeah, I
sit
like
there, and it's
Tanjiro's
so
cloak
good.
colors.
Yes, Giyu, the guy that shows up to kill Nezuko, his color palette is really interesting because it's like that like weird checkered pattern with the green and yellow mixed in with the maroon mixed in with the water colors for his eyes, like symbolize kind of like the style of swordsmanship that he does.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's pretty badass.
I like you. He's a very stoic, highly stoic character, but very short. He's just very
Yeah.
short with everything that he does. He's just like, all right, cool,
Okay.
okay, that's it.
Yeah, the beginning where Nezuko turned to a demon and started attacking him, I mean, like that was good. They built their relationship really fast for you to
Yeah,
kind of like understand him and his family's relationship and how much
yeah,
he cares. They care about each other, and
exactly.
like the fact that she's protecting him even as a demon
Yeah,
from
that
you.
was that because that scared the shit out of me because I was like, oh god, she's a demon. Okay, well, we know that she's become this thing that slaughters humans. So was it her that did it? Did she get turned? And then yeah, so
Well, yeah,
that's
you
also
kind of
not
think like, is
explained.
she going to be the bad guy in this
Yeah,
story?
yeah, it's like is she the bad guy? Oh no, and so that was sad to see because he's like, this is the only family I have left, and then she's
Yes.
like, oh shit, no, I'm gonna protect you. I liked how quickly they locked in the fact that yes, she's a demon, yes, she still has the urges of a demon, but at the same time, her human side is, or and just the will of her human side is stronger than her demon will.
Yeah, the only like not even bad thing, but like thing I was like, was all the crying at the beginning.
Yes.
Like I understand it based on the circumstances. Like I'd probably be doing the same thing,
Yeah.
but I still was like, oh my god, shut up already. Like, but but like I said, I understand it based on circumstances. Like I'd be bawling my eyes out too, probably, and but it still kind of got a little bit annoying there at the end where he's like just crying the whole time, which I liked about how Gyu was like, "Bitch, quit crying,
Yeah.
like fight,"
It's
which kind
a
of
it's
was
something
better.
that irritates me in the anime community because most people sit there and say that characters that show that much emotion are weak, or it's typically coming from. I'm not saying it's in the case of you. Simply coming from anytime I see it online in forums and things of that nature. It's
Yeah,
coming from people that just were like beat for showing emotion. So,
yeah,
so whenever they see it in an art medium, they sit there and have a problem with it, or they say things like, "Well, he's a crybaby, he's a bitch character, blah 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 blah." I don't understand why people care about him, or why just shut up and quit all that crying shit and just get to the action. That's usually what I hear. But I can
yeah.
see where you're coming from, where it was like it was so much at the
It was a
beginning.
lot. Like I don't mind a little bit here and there, like showing emotion,
Yeah,
but yeah, at the beginning it was just
it was
constant.
a
Like,
lot. Yeah.
but I
So
get that was also part of his character development is
yeah,
going
he
from
he's a
bitch boy to
very
caring.
soft-hearted, caring person, but
Yeah,
he also knows what needs to be done to get to his end goal of turning his sister back.
yeah,
Because he's made all these promises to all these people that will straight up kill him and her if he doesn't succeed. So
yeah.
he's willing to do whatever the hell it takes to get there. And that's something I enjoy about his character is that yeah, he may show emotion, yeah, he may show sympathy to the demons, for example. When he kills them, because they used to be human.
Yes,
He
pretty much
does
all of them.
exactly. So he does show sympathy to them whenever he kills them. That's part of his character. That he's so pure of heart that it does bother him that he has to kill these people, but he also understands his duty
Yeah,
and
he's
what he swore
protecting
to
other
do.
people.
Exactly.
And then I liked the part, like I'll start kind of going in order,
Yeah.
where he had to go to Sakonji to train.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was like you think of the time span, like it wasn't
Yeah.
like
It
it was
wasn't like a
two
two
plus year,
month
2 years
or
or something
yeah. He spent
of
a
him
long time
training.
up there.
Yeah,
That surprised me that they were willing to go through instead of just explaining it like, hey, by the way, in
trained.
10 seconds it's been 2.5 years. You know,
Yeah, it was
no,
a
that
few
was a
episodes of him
yeah, it was a
training.
few episodes, and people fell off of the show because of that. For that's just being lazy. We're talking people that are willing to sit through 200 plus episodes of One Piece and sit there and say, "Oh, it gets good after episode 300 something or whatever the hell." Yeah, I'm coming. Yeah, I'm coming with the guns out. I ain't got a problem with it.
Pew pew.
Pew, pew.
Shots fired.
But 2, 3 episodes of actual world building and actually showing him go through all of the stuff that he's never done before, and learning and showing his battle awareness and how it's growing and things of that nature in his training.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
I
that's what I
enjoyed that shit.
like. Yeah, I like that about the whole show in general. Is like, no, none of the characters really in the show, as far as humans,
Mm-hmm.
have like this, this family power. It's all like
Yeah.
all these characters worked their ass off
Mm-hmm.
to get where they are.
Yeah.
Like all the Hashiras and
Yeah.
and Tanjiro and all of them, they all worked like extremely hard and were dedicated to killing the demons and training to become better in their arts
Mm-hmm.
that instead of just, oh, I have this power that I inherited and I'm going to train to enhance it,
Yeah, just make the power stronger. No, they're starting from square one, square
Yeah.
zero, ensuring that they get strong enough to be able to defeat stronger enemies
Yeah.
for the sake of humanity.
Yeah.
And that right there is commendable because of the fact that he just took it upon himself. It was an instant decision. There was there was no hesitation on it. It was, I need to train. I need to get stronger. What do I need to do? I'm going to listen to Giyu and I'm going to go meet this guy and I'm going to go sit there, train with him and get stronger and become a demon slayer. That way I can figure out where I need to do or where I need to go and what I need to do to change my sister back.
Yeah. And then like the boulder challenge,
Yes.
that whole story was with like Sabito and Makomo were
Yeah.
sad as hell.
That was very sad.
I was like, ooh.
And it didn't help once he actually did succeed in cutting the boulder and then had to go fight that hand demon.
Yeah.
at the selection in the forest. That didn't help. But he's like, oh, I see you're. He's like, oh, I see you're one of his students. You know, where I'll share, or you'll share the same fate as like the past 14 or whatever
Yeah,
that
he
have
kills a
gone. I was
lot of.
like, God, jeez. Like, imagine training for 2 years just to get murked the second the
Well,
first
imagine being the
time.
trainer, like
Yeah,
Takonji,
exactly.
like you're just sending these kids to die, which they kind of show him feeling that
Yeah,
way.
he
That's why
feels it.
he was like, "Bitch, come back, Tanjiro. Your ass better show back up."
Exactly. So, yeah, that hurt. That whole story hurt. The backstory of the fact that there have been multiple students that he's lost, and he's
Yeah,
still training. He's just hoping that one of them makes it.
yeah.
That is wild to me. You know.
It's like, bro, you might want to stop sending kids
Yeah,
out
it's like,
there.
can we just like maybe don't do that? I don't know. Have we tried that? Just retire. Just
Yeah.
just let it go. Just retire, man.
Well, and the surprising thing was after the final selection trials, there was literally 4 of them,
Left,
and it
yeah.
was like, damn, dude, there was a shit ton of people in there
Mm-hmm.
before, and now there's 4
There's
of them.
only four. I
Like,
was like, wow.
which kind of shows the struggle of getting people into the corp.
Yeah, that's a
Like,
wild attrition rate. Like literally, it's like a 98% attrition rate, where they all just get either killed or quit. So
then when you run into Zenitsu and like, how the hell did that guy make it?
that's what I'm saying. I'm like, what was he just knocked unconscious repeatedly? What happened here?
You
Like,
pass out. Well,
yeah,
yeah, we find it. You find out about all that later.
yeah.
The crows are funny too, like how they're like
I love the
how they
crows.
talk and stuff.
Yeah.
And then Zenitsu got like some little Tweety bird looking
He's
thing. I
like,
was
where's
like, oh my
Micro?
god.
Where's Micro at? Can we just talk about the greatness that is Zenitsu's teacher and just his sheer patience with this kid?
Yeah, that flashback on the when they were fighting on the mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because yeah, dude, I would have been like kid hiding in the tree and shit.
Yeah. I don't want to do this anymore. It's too hard. I don't want to go fight demons. Well, you need to. You don't have a fucking choice. Like, come on.
You bitch.
You have a debt to pay. This is your debt. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that was. But I liked his teacher master because he sat there and was like, "Hey, you're going to learn this. You may not learn all 7 forms or 8 forms or whatever, but just get really, really good at least one form."
Yeah, like
And so he
get
did.
good
Like,
at what you can get
yeah,
good
get
at.
good at what you can do, and just make sure that you're the best at what you can do.
Yeah.
And
Well, I
so,
thought the kind of backtracking, I thought the concept of them picking an ore for their sword was
yes,
cool. Like it was just an extra detail that
that
maybe
goes.
a
Yeah,
lot of people might have not have put in there. Like, oh, they just get Demon Slayer swords. Like, here you go.
mm,
But they actually pick what the material is and to make it more personal of a weapon.
it was a nice story touch as
Yeah.
far as the underlying details of the process of becoming a demon slayer.
Which then brings up the topic of Hotaru, the sword guy.
Yeah. Yes.
He's hilarious. Like the first
Oh,
time they meet him's funny, but then the second time is like even, which I'll get to when
yeah,
we
we'll
get
get
to
to
that
that
part of the
one.
story.
But the first time I meet him, that is good. He's
Yeah.
he's one of my favorite supporting characters in the show because of
Yeah.
the fact that he is such a skilled craftsman, but they treat him like shit. As far as after they get their weapons or if they lose their weapon or whatever the case, he's like, "Do you understand? You have no idea how much freaking energy went into making that damn sword."
Yeah, the whole point of like the season and even through the movie, like just him constantly breaking and losing swords. It's like
Yes, it's like, oh
I
my
hope that
god.
theme continues in the next
The
season.
second season, yeah, that
Yeah.
would be nice. I want to see like if I want to see his backstory. Really, that's my big thing. I want to see his backstory. Like,
Yeah.
as even I don't care if it's a filler episode. I really don't give a shit. Or if
Yeah,
it's like they have to pass through there. Like he's tired of meeting them, and so they have to go and find him or find where his village is or whatever, and
Yeah.
meet up with him to sit there and repair their swords.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to see something like that. It's a small story beat, but I feel like it's necessary because he's a good comic relief, but he's also without him, they're nothing.
Well, and then after the swords, Tanjiro, they get their first mission, going to that town
Oh
with
yeah.
the young girls disappearing,
Mm-hmm.
and how that I think it's cool how all the demons have like different abilities,
Yeah.
I think it's instead of like just demons
Standard
or
fodder.
demons and you
Yeah.
got to fight them all. Some of them are stronger, but like they all are like have their own abilities and powers that they use to fight. Like the one that at the town that was like using another dimension to sink through the floor and stuff.
Yeah.
I like but don't like how people still died. Like the guy's fiance
Yes.
died. It's like Tanjiro's not coming in and like superheroing it. Oh, no one dies.
Yeah. Nobody dies
I
here.
saved
Yeah.
everyone. It's like the reality of this whole world is
At some points,
people are
people are going to
dying
die.
and
Yeah.
yeah, people are dying and you're gonna just have to save as many as you can.
Yeah. It's not that you're here to save every single one of them. You're here to save
Yeah.
who you can.
Yeah.
Especially at their level for that level of mission. It wasn't
Yeah.
It wasn't like they got dumped onto like a top tier mission. That was a normal like beginner level mission of hey, investigate, report, and then make the decision to extinguish from there.
Well, yeah, and that whole fight scene was important because it added the fact that Tanjiro realized Nezuko could protect herself.
Yes. Yeah,
she wasn't just
helpless.
Useless.
Exactly. She wasn't helpless and just there as he saw her, which is his baby sister.
Yeah, and one of the things that surprised me was the next kind of area he went to when he went to the big city.
Mm-hmm.
And he ran into Muzan. I was
Jackson?
like, dude, I wasn't. Yeah, Michael Jackson. I wasn't ready for him to see him that early. I was like, damn, what the hell's gonna happen
the hell
now?
out of me. Yeah, I was like, are they gonna kill this man off the rip? Like, what are we doing here? Is this gonna be like, oh, he gets episode 4, gets murdered in a very calm scenario, and then in the rest of the season just a flashback of like everything that led up to that, or what? So
yeah, like I wasn't sure what was happening in that because I wasn't expecting them to introduce him like
all
in front of Tanjiro so early.
Yeah, that had me like I was on the edge of my seat. I was like, oh no, this is way too early. He is not prepared to go head to head with this dude at all. Yeah, that frightened the hell out of me. I was like, oh, he's gonna poison him or he's gonna like kill him right here on the spot or whatever the case might be. I was really worried. But yeah, that was an interesting meeting that early on. I was not ready whatsoever.
Well, what made it like that whole area a better for the story was how he met Tushiro and Tamayo.
Yes.
Tamayo, however you pronounce it. Because they were demons.
Yes.
And so it's like it kind of builds some depth into the world of not all demons are bad, and kind of adds to the concept that Tanjiro has of feeling sorry for them and that they do have emotions and souls as humans, and
they do understand and remember when they were human. It's not just automatically well, I'm a demon now, so gotta kill humans. The fact that she retained all of her medical prowess from
and was able to
life.
beat out that curse
exactly
from Muzan.
Yeah, so that adds that layer of detail, like you said, to the demons as a whole, because you have the ones that are like, cool, I'm a demon now, I can kill and do whatever I want, like the actual psychos in the story, like the 12 Mizuki and all them. Yeah, that's a whole different class. But then you also have, she's a doctor, she saved this kid's life who sat there and she asked permission, would you like to be healed completely, but the drawback is you're a demon, or would you like to die? He's like, I don't want to die. Okay, well,
here you go.
Well,
yeah, and that whole area also added kind of a purpose to Tanjiro's mission of saving Nezuko, because before he was just learning how to slay the demons and to protect it, and then he was working on finding it, but then they also added the part where he needs to get blood so that she can try and turn Nezuko back to a human with demon blood.
Yeah.
So that it kind of added more another step to his second purpose of saving Nezuko.
If I remember correctly, he needed to get more potent samples of Muzan's blood.
Yeah, the closer they are, like blood-wise, to Muzan, so the more powerful demons are the ones that would help make the process better. Like that's how she'd have the ability to do it.
Okay.
Because he needs some which is also why it's important for him to kind of go after the 12 moons.
Yeah.
Is because they're the closest related to Muzan as far as blood amount.
Correct.
So, and then they have to fight those Susamaru and Yahaba.
Susumaru, oh
Those are
man,
some,
with the freaking Tamari balls.
yeah, and the
Uh,
arrow eye
yeah,
hand boy.
I hand boy, yeah, freaking
Yeah, that was an
Susumaru
interesting
and
fight.
her. Oh my god, that I was not prepared for that. What's the little kid's name that the doc saved? Um, I can't remember his name, but the fact that
Oh, when he got decapitated. Yes.
oh, but I was not ready for that at all. I was like, okay, what are they
Yeah,
gonna
that was,
plan here? And he's like, all right, oh, boom. Oh shit!
I thought he was legit dead though, but then he's a demon, so.
Yeah, he just like slowly wears his head back. He's like, nah, don't rub me, guys. I'm fine. Like,
Well, same with like Nezuko losing her leg and shit.
yeah,
But for her, it's
yeah,
different because she's not like drinking blood or anything.
exactly.
So
Yeah, that. Ooh, man, that.
there
all
was
you,
a bunch of decapitations going on there.
all you see is the very swift. Oh shit! Yeah, I was not ready for that whatsoever.
Yeah, but it kind of pushed Tanjiro to his limits too because he was
Oh, he was pissed.
broken bones and
Yeah,
trying to barely fight it out.
the
So
the sequence where he's constantly countering the directional changes and all that,
yes,
that was badass. Especially seeing as how he's like, I don't know if my body can handle this. We're gonna keep trying though, and that was with, I believe he had a punctured lung.
yeah, it's something he broke his bones
Yeah,
or
he
some
broke
part.
his bones or broke a rib or something that
Yeah,
nature, and so he was still managing to do the total concentration breathing, which kudos to that because nah.
yeah, the whole breathing techniques are interesting. I've never really seen anything as far as breathing techniques for
Yeah,
fighting, but I mean, I'm sure it's common,
it's
but
it's like only thing similar to that I've seen in anime would be like the hormone from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and that'd be about it.
that I also with like the arrows and stuff that kind of adds to the point of how I love the fighting animations of this show.
Yes,
Like the elements they bring into it, like the colors and the elements of the
it's very
water and the
visual. Yes,
arrows. Yeah, it's visually appealing to watch
yes,
all that shit go
yes. There's
on.
lots of colors happening. There's lots of fluid motion happening.
Like Gyu's total calm and stuff,
Oh my,
which we'll get
yes,
to when we
yeah.
get to the mountain.
That was a whoo.
Yeah,
That was
like
a
all that
moment.
stuff is badass
Yes.
animation.
Moving forward from
And then
there
my favorite character favorite side character when he runs into Zenitsu
on
hanging
the
on that girl trying to have
yes,
her marry him.
marry me. I don't know when I'm gonna die.
That boy
Please.
is something else.
That boy is thirsty. Goodness gracious. Perpetually parched is what I like to call him. Because that man stays trying to Nezuko-chan. Yes.
Yeah. Which the movie we'll talk about
So
the
good.
movie part.
It's
But
so good.
I like that house sequence too, where
Hmm.
they had to fight the demon inside the house with the drums.
That was, I love the concept of that where he's spinning the house itself or the inner dimension of the house.
Yeah, Kyogi, I think
Yeah,
was the demon's name.
that was awesome. That was a
That was
badass
a
fight.
Yeah, and it's like I said, it's another one of those examples. Like it's something completely different than all of the other fights.
Hmm.
Like this building, twisting, distorting demon. Like
Yeah, every one of the demons, every one of the fights, even the smaller fights, what you would I guess consider smaller fights,
yeah,
stuff on the mountain, the stuff with the village, later on where Zenitsu has to sit there and fight that spider demon,
yeah,
things
yeah.
of that
Well,
nature. Yeah, we'll get to that, but yeah, this all of the fights as a whole are just completely different, and each one doesn't try to outdo the other or the one before it,
yeah,
but it's always an interesting, unique spin on the standard kill demon, save world
yeah.
concept.
But yeah, he's always having to learn something else about his abilities and what
Hmm.
he can do and accomplish, and a new way to think and fight,
Hmm.
which I like because he's like thinking while he's fighting too, and
Yeah,
it's not
he's he's
just
he's not just wildly throwing his swords around.
yeah,
He's actively thinking and strategizing while he's fighting. So it's
yeah,
it's it's refreshing to see that he does that very well and ends up actively bettering himself and actively growing as a swordsman and as a demon slayer because of it, instead of, you know, oh, I'm stuck here, all right, I'm going to take a massive beating prior to me figuring this thing out, like every other shonen protagonist known to man.
Well, yeah, and I like how when he's fighting the demons, you kind of get their backstory for just a little bit. Like it's not a full episode of
No,
backstory
it's the quick 30 seconds to a couple minutes
of
of
understanding them.
backstory and understanding of how they got to where they are and why they are the way they are. And then sometimes after they've been killed.
And the
Damn
funny
it,
part
man.
of Zenitsu passing out when that other little
Oh, the
demon
little
comes
kid.
after him,
Yeah.
and then just waking up and thunder clapping his ass. I love Zenitsu's fighting animation, like his thunder,
Yes.
like
It's
the animation of the thunder is beautiful.
just it's beautiful. I love it. The curl of the lightning, the everything, the just the sheer speed of his attack, like in the different levels that he can do it at for the one form that he knows. I guess unique to him because of the fact that he doesn't know how powerful he is. He has zero
Oh
idea.
yeah, because he woke up from his
Yeah,
passing out. I was like, "Did you kill him?"
yeah. And the kid's like,
To
"What
the
the
kid.
fuck?" Yeah. But the house is an interesting story.
Landed introduces Inosuke.
Yes. The beautiful beast.
Yeah. Well, when I liked when Tanjiro headbutted him to
Oh
knock
yeah,
him
and he's
out.
like, like this man is taking full on like demon punches to the head, and just casually walks it off.
Yeah. Yeah, and then another funny part when Zenitsu like sees Nezuko for the first time,
Oh yeah, when she emerges from the box.
becomes a super simp.
Nezuko-chan! It's too good.
Then we get to the real part of the season 1, the Mount Natagumo arc.
Yes.
That was some lots of badass stuff going on in there.
Awesome battles, awesome fights, great animation, really
Then
fucked up scenarios.
You have Mommy Demon
Mommy.
with the webs.
RIP all of those lesser slayers that went.
Well,
out
yeah,
there.
dude. The part where Tanjiro hung him up in the trees to save him, and then she just snapped their necks.
Yeah, she's like,
I
oh,
was like,
I mean,
damn.
thanks for helping me out here. I didn't know if you thought that was going to save you in some manner, but
Yeah.
you know, snap. Oh shit!
We're going back to that dark shit.
That shit got dark really quick.
Yeah.
Holy hell! Yeah, I mean, like the show's already dark, but it has its lighter moments. It's a good blend of, or the certain characters provide that, like Inosuke and Zenitsu, and occasionally Nezuko. But man, yeah, that got dark so fast.
Yeah, it's
Holy
definitely got
shit.
some dark spots in it.
Like that, the I think there was a female swords slayer, and she's just like, please just kill me, like, because she broke both her legs, broke both her arms and everything, and was still puppeteering her, and she was still conscious. And I'm like, stop it! Stop it! Kill her! Shit.
Well, but I mean, even the whole demon family with Rui, the mother, Spider Boy, father, and sister, like that whole story was sad too. Like you realize how much emotions the demons have when the mother just like let Tanjiro decapitate her, because she was like, "Oh, I'm happy." Like, I'm ready to die. I'm sick of going through this abuse.
Remember, he changed the form that way she could see something beautiful before she died.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was sweet. I was like, what the fuck? You can do that?
They just keep stacking on the emotions and how genuine Tanjiro is as a character.
Let's not forget about Inosuke's freaking, like, beast resonance thing that he did.
Yes, that was...
beast breathing thing? That was badass. I was like, oh, so you're a bat now. Okay.
Yeah, that helped.
And she was far as shit too. The fact that he's like, found her, like that was wild.
It's like, well, yeah, and how they find. Well, and I liked how Inosuke actually started working together with Tanjiro instead of trying to outdo him. It was well, he was still trying to outdo him, but he's
like, wait, you're doing that. I can do that too. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then you get to Zenitsu fighting Spider Boy.
Oh man,
I was like, hell yeah.
For me, I was like, well, this is where he dies.
I didn't think they'd kill him.
I figured they would just because like of how much of a coward he was, and this is his first. I guess not really his first, but this is a major,
That was one of his
much
more
stronger.
legit fights.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is a much stronger enemy that he had to face by himself. You know, granted he faced a drummer demon by himself, but yeah, this was a rough battle because it was not technically a one on one because of all the little spider babies.
Yeah.
So with that being the case, that made things significantly harder, and the fact that they had venom. You know, he wasn't
Well, he
facing
was already
anything.
poisoned too.
Yeah, exactly. He was already poisoned. They had more venom, and they bit the shit out of him.
And then our girl Shinobu saves him.
That girl Shinobu. But yeah, the fight and him finally just passing out and then going full. Oh man,
Just bouncing off of trees,
bouncing
with
off of everything. Yeah, the precision with even with the speed, the precision, and sitting there and bouncing off of the bouncing off of the web for the spider dude. And dude's like, I gotta get out of here, and tries to escape, and he's like, no, bitch.
Yeah, no, and yeah, it was a good fight. I liked.
That was a great fight.
I liked how they got to show. You kind of understand how he survived.
Yeah.
The selection
Exactly.
after seeing a couple of his fights. Well, and then you have Tanjiro and Inosuke fighting the father demon, who they kind of portray. They make you kind of think he's the moon, one of the moons.
Yeah, because he was hella strong. So you made it.
Yeah,
they made it seem like that for the majority of that fight
until he runs into Rui.
Yeah,
later on, and
realizes Rui is significantly more powerful.
Well, yeah, and then when Gyu kills the father, like instantly,
it's because you never really understand how powerful he is because you don't see him past that first
episode. Yeah,
past the first episode, you don't see him, and that's like episode 6 or 7 that he finally actually later than that.
No, the mountain was way later.
Yeah, the mountain's like past. Yeah, the mountain's going into.
It's in the high teens.
Yeah,
17, 18.
Yeah. At that point, you know, they've already gotten their swords. They've already gotten all that stuff. They've already done the like you said the house arc and all that. You don't see anything with Gyu whatsoever. There's not even like a side beat of him the entire time, and then all of a sudden he shows up, one shots this dude, and keeps going like nothing's happening. Like there's
ties
no
up
issues.
Inosuke.
Yeah, I'm like, god dang.
Yeah, and then Ryu with the webs and shit, like breaking Tanjiro's sword, and
oh my God,
that whole fight was badass.
That fight was
in simplest terms.
Yeah, that was a good push to your limits and past them. No, my hero. Good push to your limits type thing, where he legitimately should have lost there. In my opinion, he should have lost. He did technically lose. Yeah, he still technically lost, and I like that there was a glimpse of hope that he won at the end once he did somehow manage to unlock the flame breathing. That backstory, I love that backstory. That's something from his father that he has like kind of inherited. That's just kind of linked into his DNA. Yeah, he managed to pull out in desperation, and that Nezuko was able to learn her demon blood art at the same time, and them combine and just even just thinking about it gives me chills just because of how gorgeous that animation was when they combined and sat there and attacked Rui. And even he was like, what the fuck? How are they doing this?
Yeah. Well, and then you go from all of this work and effort and desperation fighting, and then Gyu comes in total calm, walks up to him and
total calm. Never
off.
Mind the fact that there's only 10 forms of the water breathing.
Yeah.
And he comes in talking about 11. Some total concentration, 11th form. I was like, sir, excuse me? You just created your own form, bitch? What the fuck are we doing? Calm. Yeah. I was like, oh, shit.
It was like, why? It was like Tanjiro went through all of it, and it kind of shows you the power difference between Tanjiro and the Hashira. Because it's like Tanjiro almost died and had to pull out every stop he could just to try and almost kill one Rui. Of the lower moons.
Yeah.
And then Gyu comes in and literally slow-mo walks up to the guy and slices his head off.
Yeah, because I think Rui's like the third.
He's one of the lower ones, yeah.
He's like number 3 in the lower
bottom
third.
6 or something.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, he's number 3 in the bottom 6
or bottom 12. I mean, I don't. Yeah, bottom 6, however they call it.
Because there's 12 of them total. So
Yes.
lower 6 and then upper 6, and then you have the upper 3,
Yeah.
which are just stupid powerful.
Yes.
We'll get into that when we talk about the movie. But yeah, that fight was amazing, and then just watching the very calm, pun intended, the very calm destruction of Rui by the hands of Gyu, as if it were absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
I was like, the fuck? What the hell is this?
Like, how have y'all not won yet? Shit.
Yeah. He's
How
like,
powerful are
and then
these
for him
other
to sit there and say some shit, like, it was complimentary, but also kind of a backhanded fucking compliment altogether, because he goes, you did well to get this far. I was like, bitch.
Yeah, no shit.
I was like, who are you, motherfucker? And then you come to find out that he's a damn water Hashira, and I'm like, oh shit, okay, that makes way more sense. Looking at the Hashira, though, we mentioned Shinobu. Shinobu isn't a Hashira, is she?
Yeah, she is.
She is, okay. Oh yeah, that's right. She's the
Hashira.
insect Hashira. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I was thinking of the
Pathetic.
I was thinking, yeah, it's been a while. Okay. I was thinking of her pupil.
Subordinate, yeah.
Yeah. The creepy ass fucking glass eyed child.
Yeah. Well, and then I mean, they go to the trial and stuff of Nezuko and Tanjiro. I was like, this is some bullshit.
Yeah, it immediately follows all of that craziness, all of that shit that they managed to accomplish. And then immediately goes to the trial. Well,
I was like, how did you guys not know about? I thought they knew about Tanjiro and Nezuko before, but I guess none of them did. And I was like, well, damn.
Well, Gyu almost got reprimanded for that because of the fact that he didn't inform them.
Well, yeah, he
remember Shinobu sat there and looked at him and was like, "Oh, so you knew about this?"
Yeah.
Oh, not a problem.
I kind of
we'll
thought
need to let the master
was a
know.
bitch after.
Yeah, initially I thought she was a bitch for that because she tried to kill Nezuko.
Yeah. Well, dude, and the one who pissed me off the most was when Sanemi stabbed Nezuko.
Oh,
I was like, oh hell no, I'm ready to. And then Tanjiro broke free and nailed it, got a shot in on him.
Yes. Oh man, yeah, that was rough.
That pissed me off.
I was like, well, this is where the story ends because they're either A, going to kill both her and Tanjiro, or they're going to kill her first and then see what the fuck Tanjiro does.
Like, put me in that world. I'm ready to fight.
It was like, somebody give me a sword. I'm slashing everybody. I ain't got time for this shit.
Killing everybody in this bitch.
Yeah, that was, oh man. I've never been, at that point in the show, I had been more sad than I had been furious. That was the most furious I was during the entire show. Yeah, that was the most furious I was the entire show.
Well, yeah, and then, I mean, the rest of the show was kind of calmed down after all of that because it was mostly, which the part I liked, it was more training. It was showing him actually training and getting the, like, constant total concentration breathing.
Yeah. And
that added, kind of helped to show the next step of his development.
Correct.
As far as that, so
it focused on him learning his speed, or working on his speed, working on his precision, working on the total concentration breathing constant, to where he's even doing it in his sleep unconsciously. He can get it done no problem.
Which I like that. Yeah, I like that whole segment of the show, even though it was kind of a calm ending. It was the part I liked of showing actual training and hard work instead of just having it.
Again, people don't like the show because of that, and
that's why
that sucks
I like
to suck. Yeah, it's one of the reasons why I like it, is that it doesn't just boom, 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 explosions everywhere, Michael Bay style. No, it's not it's not your standard shonen where it's just explosions and, you know, fights all the time, and then there's like a 1 second cooldown, and then back to the fighting. And no, it's not like that. There are periods where there's multiple episodes in a row where it is just training. That's it, just training. And it's not your standard training arc where there's like a montage of like, and then we grew it this way, and then it's explained by exposition. And no, it's actually showing them training every single day.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and then we close out the season with setting us up for the movie where Muzan kills like the rest of the lower moon.
Yeah.
Except Enmu.
Yes.
And I was
that was wild. First off, anybody tell him to sit there, because I was like, who is this female? And then it's like, you all decided to show up. Good. Oh shit, it's Muzan. Oh no.
Yeah.
I'm so confused. And then they Then they all sit there and the one of them there's one dude, he's like trying to run away. He's like, no.
Yeah. It's like, you dumbass.
You idiot. You really think you're gonna get out of here? No, this man literally
Yeah.
created a whole pocket dimension for y'all to sit there and chill in. Get out of here. Yeah, and then Enmu sits there and somehow one of the weaker, or on the weaker end, he goes, all right, cool. I'll just give you a significant amount of my blood, and hopefully
Well,
it'll survive it.
Enmu was like saying, "Oh, I'm so grateful to die by your hands. Like, it's
Yeah.
such an honor." And so he was like, "Oh, okay. Well, here's more blood. Go kill Tanjiro."
Yeah, it's like let's see if you can prove your loyalty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Go
then
kill the kid with the earrings or whatever.
well, and then I liked the small ending where they're at the train, and it kind of shows like the two different worlds. Like, there's a whole modern world out
Mhm.
there, like, that doesn't recognize the demons and the demon slayers, and even the people in the demon slayer world. A lot of them, like Inosuke, didn't even know what a fucking train was.
Yeah. What
And
is
it
this
kind of
creature?
shows you the separation of it. So,
I love that
but,
meme. It's like Thomas, Thomas, the tank engine. And it's like, what is this creature? And it's
which is funny how they incorporate the movie as far as that. Because
yes,
it
that was a
kinda
good
ties
tie-in
into
as far as setting up the Infinite Train arc.
the demon is the train.
Yeah,
Which we'll get to in.
just so you know, yeah, it's a good ending to the season where it's not as wild. They get their mission, they get their new swords, they get their,
Makes you ready to listen in for the next one.
yeah, it's good. It's a fun wrap up to that season. I love Inosuke versus the swordsmith. As he sits there and gets his brand new shiny swords, just for him to sit there and go and chip them all up.
Yeah, that shit was hilarious.
You little shit! I'll kick your ass right now.
Well, yeah, because they brought in the second, the actual like forger or whatever.
Yes.
And it pissed him too off. He was like, "You son of a bitch."
Oh, it's too good. Yeah, the ending of the series and them finishing their training, the whole gourd training to sit there and increase their lung capacity and strength. That was cool. The speed training where they're literally just playing tag, but with the freaking glass-eyed girl.
Yeah.
That was cool. And that initially Zenitsu and Inosuke, because of like their trauma from the previous fight on the mountain, were like, fuck that, I'm not doing this shit anymore.
Yeah.
And then they realized that Tanjiro, the sweetest one out of all of them, the most pure of heart, is just like, fuck that, I'm gonna keep training. And they're like, and Daily sat there and tried to get them to come until he was told, don't worry about it, just focus on you. And then they finally showed up. And the only reason why Zenitsu did was because you mean you've been playing tag with girls this whole time?
Yeah. Character.
But I like the character development. I like that they can bring lightheartedness to really fucked up situations.
Yeah.
As far as with it's such a bleak world, and then like you said, the majority of the population has no idea this shit's going on.
Yeah.
And these very, very select few people, sit there and do their best to rid the world of this issue. That way it doesn't sit there and end up in the mainstream, that it is still in the background. They want it that way.
Which becomes more apparent in the movie too, about like the two different worlds colliding. But yeah, I think that covers most everything with the best anime.
The best anime ever.
I mean, you can kind of guess my rating. I'm gonna go with like a 5 out of 5.
I know you're gonna give it a 5
for my
out of 5.
personal opinion, just because it's got everything I like, and I love the art style. I love the story. I love the structure of the story. So I mean, it's got everything I like, and it's the best thing I think I've seen so far, in my opinion.
I will give it a 4.5 out of 5.
Okay, I can accept that.
There are a couple of things I wish it would have done better, story pacing wise. Other than that, yeah, I'd say the vast majority of the show is flawless in my opinion. It's very subjective to sit there and say that it's flawless. It's
flawless. Go fuck yourself.
It does a lot of things the right way. It does animation beautifully. It does storytelling beautifully. It does character development beautifully. There's just certain things in the story that I wish they would have expanded on a little more regarding things like we said, we don't know why the hell Tanjiro's head is so goddamn strong and why that's
Yeah.
like he can use it as a weapon. The concept of Nezuko has the ability to get stronger and sit there and form her demon blood art. How did she do that so rapidly? They mention briefly that like demons that have a demon blood art just learn it by way of emotional trauma.
Well, yeah, which
So
is
I guess
exactly what
her,
happened.
yeah, I guess her being strung up like that would count as emotional trauma. But at the same time, she has not drank any blood. She has not had any blood,
Well,
so
she's been
she's
sleeping because
super
they,
weak.
yeah. Well, they,
Oh
she
yeah, she
gained all
sleeps
her
instead
power
of
from
drinks blood.
sleeping. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
but I'm
that's how she
like,
gained her power.
so it's just small things like that that kind of could be done a little better. In my opinion, the scenario where Tanjiro is basically dying from blood loss at this point and still manages to do all of that at the same time against Rui. That it's a little far fetched in my mind. It's gorgeous to watch. It's a beautiful ending to that fight, but eh, come on, there's there's a level of like cuts and blood loss and ligament tearing and like broken bones and shit that you can't physically move, and they do so well as far as portraying realism through injury in that show. If you get your fucking arm broken, you're not swinging shit. If you break your
Yeah.
ribs, you are significantly less mobile. Things like that. And they show that throughout the entire show, and then all of a sudden it's like, hey, by the way, he can move a lot.
Well, I mean, but if you think about it, at the end of that fight, he did that last final jump, but then he was crawling to
Yeah, he was.
Nezuko.
Yeah, he was
So
crawling.
they kind
So
of incorporated it at the end after his final
I guess they realized
adrenaline
how.
push.
Yeah, I guess they realized they were like, we can only try and retcon this in the future by saying, like you said, adrenaline to an
Yeah.
extent. We can't really. Yeah. So for me, that was one of a couple of things where I was kind of like, we could have done that better. But I'm not. I'm not. It's a nitpicky thing for me as opposed to just like a take it as it is. If I had to take it as it is without nitpicking it whatsoever, be a 5 out of 5. But 4 out of 5, 4.5 out of 5 because
Still a good rating.
yeah,
It's a
it's
damn
still
good
it's
show.
yeah, it still deserves all the praise that it's gotten. It deserves every accolade it's received because it is just that damn good, and I am definitely excited for season 2.
Yep. All right. Well, if you enjoyed the podcast, if you're listening on Anchor or any of the other platforms tied to Anchor, consider favoriting us and following us. If you're on YouTube, the normal stuff, like and subscribe, and keep an eye out for some of our shorter videos and our podcasts coming up in the future.
We do have a lot of content lined up for y'all.
Yes.
We also have the short episodes or shorter reviews and just general quick stuff like
We call them quickies.
yeah, our little quickies. We do have a lot of content ready for y'all. So if you're excited for anime as much as we are and the growth that it's seen and will continue to see, join us on our little journey here. We're just two knuckleheads enjoying the medium that we mutually have found as a mini escape because this guy here has grown in his the greatest anime is Naruto, and that's it. So we're
Shit. I didn't even see Naruto much before that.
this guy went from like anime's okay, I guess, guys, to okay, so like this Demon Slayer shit's pretty fire.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, join us on our journey as we continue to sit here and delve into more and more shows that we all know and love.
Peace.
Peace.